Good morning,
Okay.
everybody. I'm actually early today, so we'll give everyone 2 minutes to kind of roll in. And look, if you are here, share where you're from, and I encourage you to reach out to somebody in the chat. I always call our chat box our Zoom dating box, and it's like our Tinder. So go in there, connect with somebody, make a new friend today. So take the opportunity to find a random stranger in there and say, "Hey, I'd love to connect." Networking is all about getting to have conversations with people. Gifting is about giving. And to kind of kick this off, have the gift of getting to meet somebody new and being a great listener. Don't talk about yourself, listen. And listening, I would say, is one of the best gifts you can give anybody. So we will get started in about 60 seconds. And today's session will be filled with lots of actionable items. And I'm excited that Angela can share how to take the guesswork out of gift giving. We always talk about giving client gifts, and the same question comes up. What gifts do I give? When do I give them? What's working now? How should I think about this? Does this even really work? Is my favorite one. So let's get started. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm here with my dear friend, and I would say probably one of the people that believes in me as a human more than anyone I've ever met in my life, outside of probably my mom and dad, is Angela Swift. I met Angela right when she joined Compass, and I was actually an employee. And we would meet in her office at like 6:30 in the morning to do coaching sessions, because I was a nutbag and I went to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would be in the office by 6:37. I'll never forget the first time I met Angela. Her immediate response to me was, "I don't know what you're doing. Everyone speaks so highly of you. Anything you tell me, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm all in."
Yep.
And that was approximately 4 years ago, right? So we've been working together since then, and Angela has just continued to grow her business. And beyond her numbers, really just doesn't share who she is as a person. She is a person that's always willing to share. She's a person that's always willing to collaborate. She's one of the most genuine, thoughtful, kind humans you could find. And the woman is out committing random acts of kindness every single day and does not want anything in return, does not want any acknowledgement. And it takes a special person to do something like that. So I'm honored to have you as a friend first, the client second. And Angela, thank you for being here. So say who you are and where you work.
Thank you. Thanks, Chirag. As Chirag said, Angela Swift. I'm from the Greenwich office. For those of you that don't know, Greenwich is right outside of New York City, outside of Westchester, as Mike was saying. So we're considered a luxury suburb of New York City. Greenwich is defined that we're both a water town, as well as we're along the Long Island Sound, as well as we extend all the way into the back country. So you can do hiking and biking in the back country, or enjoy a day at the beach, go boating and enjoy all the water sports. And yet we're 45 minutes from New York City, low taxes, awesome schools. And I absolutely love this town.
And great dining.
And great restaurants. Yes.
Yes. So, one of the things that's interesting that we're going over prior to this is, what percentage of your business comes from referrals?
76%.
I love how that's precise. 76% come. And what is your primary method of staying in touch with these people?
The primary method is reaching out, bumping into them in town. I am out and about all the time. But the secondary one is, as you mentioned, is just dropping, I wouldn't call it random acts of kindness, but birthdays, holidays, staying in touch with them through some kind of gifting or some kind of notes if I'm thinking about them. I tell you, Instagram and Facebook, the amazing things that I can send people happy birthdays, they really feel like we're connected to them, and it just leads to conversations. But since we're talking specifically about gifting, I am a big giver, and I love just dropping people gifts or stopping by just to say hello. It's that's special to me.
So let's start here. You said Instagram and Facebook, right? So that the way that you approach that is actually very strategic, right? Most people mindlessly scroll. So when you're scrolling through there, like, what are you looking for? And give an example of something you see that will cause you to actually take an action.
I'll tell you right now, there's a little boy in town who's very sick, and look, no, everyone does their own little things for charities, etc. I have been praying with this woman in the middle of the night. If I've gotten up and I go onto her Facebook page or Instagram page, and just dropping her a note and just letting her know that I am thinking about her. But it's, I mean, not even that kind of stuff, but everyone's kids that are running off to college right now, the moms that are dropping their kids off for the first time, dropping them notes saying, been in that position, I've got you. Do you want to go for a walk? I think Instagram and Facebook can be such cold methods of communicating, but then if you go into one layer deeper and really reach out to them, even just if you hit those buttons that do like hearts and likes, I think it makes people just think, hey, someone's thinking about me. Someone took the time to read about me or to comment about what I'm saying.
Do you ever take the information you find and then send somebody something?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, let me tell you what my summer intern did this year. I made her go into every one of my Instagram, every one of my clients go onto their Instagram and Facebook and find their anniversaries. I do detective work, anniversaries and birthdays, so that I can proactively send them information or send them cards or send them flowers.
So everyone, if you're taking notes right now, is take a note that when you're aimlessly scrolling and you see somebody's birthday or wedding anniversary, go open your Compass CRM, stick a note in there, and just keep going.
Yep, exactly.
That's awesome. Now let's start talking about gifting, right? And one of the things that if you could hold your computer still, that'd be good. Is it a computer or you're on a phone?
Nope, a computer.
Okay. One of the things that people always talk about, and I always talk about real estate math, right? Like, well, if I spend this much money, what am I going to get? Right. So giving a gift, actually, if you think about it that way, it's actually a pretty poor way to approach it because it takes away from the whole kindness of it. But when you start thinking about ROI and you started doing this, were you afraid in the beginning to spend that much money and sending something out to a whole group of people?
I still am. I think I always am watching my pennies on what I spend, but there is a feeling when someone gets something that is, to me, you cannot equate it to the dollar value of what I'm sending them. To me, it's just, it elates me. It really elates me when they get something. But yeah, in the beginning, I was very frightened. But it turned out that the more you give, the more you get back.
Now, for people that are doing this for the first time that are afraid, where would you tell them to get started and how would somebody get started with something reasonable, right? Because one of the things that people is challenged with is they want to go big, they want to do it all, and then in the end, they don't do anything.
Yeah, analysis paralysis, analysis or analysis paralysis. The very first thing that I started, which probably has my best return on my investment, is everybody that I sell a home to, whether it's a buy side or a sell side and a referral, they're in my client gifting system and I send flowers on the anniversary of their home purchase. So I cut a deal with the local florist. I bring cards down once a month. My assistant brings the cards that are handwritten and that go attached to the flowers. And every year they get flowers from me on the anniversary of their home purchase or their home sale.
And this is all automated, correct?
All automated, all automated. The first of every month. So they're not getting it on like the 17th when they close, but their anniversary month, we're calling it.
Do you remember in the Greenwich conference room, we stuck this on the wall and we actually
Yes,
planned
we
this out
did.
for the first time?
Yep.
So this is, guys, this was 2 years ago that she actually came up with this concept. She met a local florist. We give them a CSV so you can track how much it all is. They're happy to put the card on you. You support a local business. Now, one of the things I want everyone to take a note of is, look, you have to be able to scale outside of yourself. You can't do everything yourself. You don't need to make it perfect. And remember, a lot of times, because you try to make it perfect, people get nothing, right? So if you want to do the home anniversary thing, like takeaway number one is go set up a partnership with your local florist. Go drop the cards off once a month. What do you write in the cards?
Thank you. Hope you're still making happy memories. Hope you're still enjoying the house. I don't ask for business. It's just all about them. Usually it's something along the lines of hope you're still making happy memories at the home, in your home. And thank you for it's something along those lines. It's different every month when I'm writing them out. But I never ask for business. I never say, don't give me your referrals or anything like that. Nothing. It's just about the house and thanking them.
But it's always about that, right? It's about the people, it's about the relationships, and that's really what's important. So that's one good takeaway, right? And so when you start doing this, I like to ask everyone this question: why gifting? Like, why is this important to do? Why has it been something that you want to invest your time and resources into?
I got to tell you, people love getting gifts and they love getting spontaneous gifts. And I was just telling Chirag recently, we've had a really hot summer. We've had hardly any rain up here, super, super hot. And I love ice cream. And my new thing has been to send ice cream, not only to some of my clients, I've sent them to some people maybe on the chat, to some of the offices that I've recently visited down in Florida. Um, Ice cream just makes people happy. So a couple of people who have sent me referrals recently, they've gotten 8 quarts of Jenny's ice cream. My clients that have moved into their homes, they're getting ice cream from me. So I just think that while we can do a prescribed method of doing things, sometimes just go with your gut. It's hot, send somebody some ice cream. They'll always be thinking about you.
So in terms of making this simple, right? So I see automating things as something that you really rely on, right? Whether it's using an ice cream vendor, a local floral vendor, what are some of the other things that you do?
I'll tell you, one of the big things, I know Tommy Pistana's got a gift of mine. I bought picnic blankets. They're foldable picnic blankets, they zipper, and I put my name on them. And once a year, I give to my new clients the picnic blanket, a bottle of wine, and a note, and usually some other tchotchkes, maybe a candle or something. I've also sent it to many of the agents that I meet. When I first meet them, I'm going out to Aspen in 2 weeks. So I've pre-sent all of my picnic blankets to everybody. Irene Cook has one. She's commenting. People love these. It's useful. They'll think about it. So that's been one of my favorite ones, the picnic blanket. And I can send the information to everybody because I think it's something everybody should use.
Now, what about during COVID? The you start thinking about things that are being thoughtful, right? So when we think about that, everyone was trapped here. We were all locked down. What did you do? Tell them what you did with the board games.
During COVID, I sent the Monopoly game from Greenwich. Greenwich had come up with a Monopoly game, and I also sent puzzles to everybody. And then people probably do know that I'm up to like 50 some odd lasagnas. So during Christmas time to Christmas holidays, I send out lasagnas to everybody and anybody that wants them. And yes, I have shipped them.
So in doing this, right? So what we want to like kind of break down for everybody is when something is going on, how do you think through doing this so they could do it too? So people are locked down in COVID. In the
Yep.
suburbs where we all live was filled with mostly families. What made you decide to do games?
Well, what were we all doing? We were trapped in our houses. People were doing the puzzles. I mean, I think somebody recently said that major hedge fund guys, they read the New York Post. And I'm a big believer in the New York Post, so I read it. But you get a feel for what's going on outside of the little world you're in and what most of the population is doing. And if you read anything around during COVID, people were doing a lot of stuff together as families. So it just seemed logical. And obviously the branded Monopoly and the branded puzzles seemed like a natural fit for giving during COVID.
So everyone, I want you to think about who are your clients? What are they doing? How are they spending their time? And how can you add something on, right? So a big thing is when you think through this, guys, is what is a conversation you're going to create, right? And is your gift really just a transactional throwaway? Or is it something that could help really build a memory, right? You play a board game with your kid, it's something that you're going to remember, and it's something that you can use more than once.
I want to give everybody a tip, excuse me, Chirag, for coming up, which you can do right now. I already had my summer intern do it. She pre-did all of this for me. Regular envelope. I got $5 Amazon gift cards. I got popcorn from Costco, that kind of like you stick in the microwave, and M&Ms, the boxes of M&Ms from Costco. She put it into a box, into an envelope for me with a card that said, enjoy date night on me when the kids get back to school. So thinking about what's going to be happening in September, every family or families or even single people, life goes back in September. Just sending a note to them to say, enjoy a quiet Friday night on me. And I did it the past couple of years and it's been very, very well received. And I can also send you all of that as well. It's a pre-done card, etc.
Okay, so for everyone that's going to send us here, please, for the love of our team over here at CSC, please do not send us emails. We'll collect all the information, and in our weekly news recap that goes out on Saturday, we'll put Angela's email in. We'll link to all the information. Yes, if you email her, she will get back to you, every single person, because that's who she is. And her random act of kindness was not about your gifting system. It was all the non-for-profit stuff that you do that no one really ever knows about. So, you know what? In terms of gifts, right? How, we went through the whole life. Yesterday, we just did a session on the lifetime value of the client, right? And remember the client that sent you two referrals during the transaction. Then we figured it out, and then we sent them, I think it was like a $500 bottle of champagne.
Mhm.
Explain to everyone how you think about like values, right? Because there's some people in your database that get a lot more than others because they send you more.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's yes and no, because then there are those some clients that are just buying the starter home, but they've referred someone to me that has been humongous. So each client I look at, if it's people that have given me one or two or three referrals, I tend to give them dinners on the town, or if it's I'm usually dealing with the wives at times. They love days of beauty at our local spa. So more things that say thank you for you and giving them an opportunity to enjoy their lives. So dinners and spa treatments. Everybody gets something from me when they give me a referral, whether it's a dinner, an ice cream. It's just a more elevated experience, if you will, if it's a repeatable client.
For everyone here that wants to overcomplicate this, how do you make this simple for yourself?
It's all in my CRM. It's all in my CRM. If I have set things, it's certain bottles of wine, certain gift certificates. But again, everybody gets the candle. Everybody gets a gift certificate to something if they've given me a referral, but it's all tagged in my CRM.
So if you guys start thinking about this, number one, Angela follows our lifetime value customer system, right? Everything's broken down by people and tiers and money. So she knows who sends her what, right? And your new thing is just spontaneous acts, right? So share with everyone a couple things that you've done recently outside the ice cream that just, you run into somebody, you bump into them. I get random stuff from you in the mail. Like I told you I moved, and the first thing you asked is like, what's your new address?
you know, it's the Greenwich Food and Wine is coming up. It's tickets to events here in town. It's the latest thing now is when my clients close that or when they're preparing to close and the dumpster's coming for them to throw out stuff. I'm there with either bagels in the morning and boxes of coffee, or with sandwiches on the day before when they're packing, the day before they move. Conversely, when they move in, we had a closing yesterday. I had Garden Catering, one of our local people here, deliver a tray of sandwiches for all the movers, so they don't have to worry about anything. It's things like that that make a difference. A bag and a box of cleaning supplies right before they're about to close. Some people are not hiring cleaners. It's just that makes a difference. It's the little things. Moving is one of the most stressful things. So any of the little things we can do, being Italian, to me, it's always about the food. So dropping off sandwiches on moving day seems to be a big thing for me.
So look, all of these are all different things you can do, and we'll pull between this session and next session because Angela and I are the same. We're not going to do the same exact thing twice. So we'll start getting an idea together, and just like the last time we built a list together, when one of the sessions, we'll ask everyone, what's your favorite gift idea? Actually, you know what? Why don't we do it now? We'll just take 2 minutes, everybody. Everyone, if you've sent a gift that's had success, put it into the chat right now, just what the gift was. And this way we'll curate a list and we'll send it as a follow-up.
Oh, the pizza oven is huge. The Uni pizza oven. That was a closing gift recently that I gave as well. That's a great gift.
I just bought one. I'm pretty excited about it.
It's phenomenal.
So look, a lot of this, if you guys see what we're doing, this is what we call collaborative learning. We're taking the information of the 150 plus people that are here, gathering it together, then synthesizing it, organizing it, and then giving it back to you, right? So if you put frame photograph, put what the frame photograph is, as many details as possible, right? So if you're looking at this, like salt and pepper shakers from MoMA, like that's pretty cool. A party platter with families, house plant from Bloomscape. If you have something, put down where it's from if you can. Custom photo of their home, handmade Cutco knives.
Oh,
There's
wow.
so many different things. Yeah, look at this.
Wow.
See, I always said, Angela, like a big part of this community and us all growing together is our ability to be able to take this information, collect it, organize it, and then share it back to everyone in simple ways that they can do it.
Chirag and I were just talking, and I think that every year, like these ideas that you guys are putting out here, they are amazing. The solo stove, Antonia, the solo stove. I mean, someone told us about that last year. People love that. Got some of these things
I'm
that you guys are
legit.
putting on here.
I'm legit writing that down right now. Solo.
Yeah, the solo stove and the uni pizza have become very popular, and people love that kind of stuff. But I think that that's what's so good about our chats here is that we get different ideas, and sometimes we get into our routines, and that's really good to have our routine. But the best thing is then we can infuse something different, and hopefully I'll pick up something off of here, which I already have, that I can then reuse and rip off and redo, as we all say.
You know, here's a couple things to think about, right? When you do this, I always say, like, before you do an experience, obsess about what you want the people to say after, right? Like, think, feel, and do. So I get a gift and I'm going to give a gift. Now, here's how I would think through it. Number one, like when someone gets this gift, what do I want them to think? How do I want them to feel? Like, what's the emotion of it? And what do I want them to do? Right. And if I'm thinking about the pizza oven, what I want them to think is, wow, like this person cared enough for me that I'm going to keep doing. The feeling is going to be excitement. What do I want them to do? Crank out pizzas, because guess what? When they're inviting their friends over, the first thing they're going to ask is like, where'd you get this pizza oven? Because like pizza ovens are not readily sold everywhere. So people always want to know where they're from. So they're going to say, oh, my realtor Angela gave them to me, right? Or my realtor Antonio gave it to me. So you're now curating conversations and experiences. Is there anything you could do that could be repeatable? Like you're literally paying that money one time, right? They're probably $700-800, some of these things. However, every time they make a pizza, they're going to think of you.
Mhm.
And if you understand how marketing, branding, and advertising works, think about how much money movies spend for you to recognize and see the name of it on those big billboards, on the ads that you see on TV. That's literally what they're paying for. So when you're investing into a gift, this is the way that we all need to start thinking through this.
Yeah. One of the things that I've been thinking is, and someone just put it up here, is the Tiffany's bowl, is what to send the person that's moving, a downsizer. So I'd be interested in seeing what people are doing for the people that are selling the homes in their primary neighborhoods, which is I'll sell, but moving to like a Florida or Denver, and they're downsizing and they're purging and they're Marie Kondo. So I'd be interested to see what everyone's doing for that type of client.
Do you know what I would do if I was that kind of client? So say you're downsizing and you're moving out of state, right? Odds are you probably referred to another Compass agent, correct? I would collaborate with a Compass agent and I would pick 4, right? Because generally speaking, when people move somewhere, all right, they get there, there's the excitement, and then all of a sudden it's like they get to the game of, okay, like where do we go? What do we do? I'd find the 4 best restaurants and I would buy 4 gift certificates. And I'm going to say, hey, over the course of your first, after you're all settled in, I want to give you somewhere cool to, somewhere curated or cool or somewhere fun to go each week for the next 4 weeks. So your new town really becomes like a home and a community that you feel comfortable in. And I found the 4 best local spots, right? So that's one. The second thing is wine subscriptions, right? When COVID started and our business started, the entire thing grew by referral. So like I have all these different people I know that are like winos. So I used to send like wine subscriptions to people, which people really liked as well, right? Because every month it's a new box of wine and stuff that they get. There's no amount of money that you could spend on this and lose. You just need to understand who you're spending money on.
Mhm.
And don't go overboard on something where you really don't know the people, right? Lead with thoughtfulness, kindness, and base it off of something that you heard them say during the transaction so they know that you're actually listening.
Yep.
So what's working now? Like what have you seen like direct results from sending people?
The biggest one has been my blanket, the wine, and that bag that I gave to everybody. That really resonated with everybody, as well as the back to school movie night. People loved that. Absolutely loved that. Those become my staples, that and the anniversary flowers.
They're
And obviously
asking about.
the lasagnas, I will tell you, the lasagnas probably yield the biggest comments because I actually hand deliver them with a bottle of wine during the Christmas holidays. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, all my clients get a lasagna.
So then
For
the
most of
question
them.
for everybody is what do, yep, it's homemade. What are you doing in your business that's repeatable that people can start looking forward to every year? Because if it becomes an annual thing and there's a lot of thought that goes into it, people start to look forward to it. So let's see, we have another 5 minutes or so. If you have a question, pop it in the chat. Angela, you can see the chat better than
Yeah,
I can.
Margot,
And
Margot
let's go
asked
through
what's in
some
the
answers.
bag. What's in the bag is the blanket. It's a bag that says the Greenwich Lifestyle Team, Angela Swift, the Greenwich Lifestyle Team. It's like a rattan bag that they can take to the beach. So it's the blanket, a bottle of wine, and a candle. And that is the standard when they're buying a home that afternoon, they get that when they close.
So Carol had said, I'm planning to send a card and chocolate to welcome the new neighbors that are moving to our community. I just moved to this community too. My plan is also tell them I'm new here and I'd love to welcome the new ones as well as maybe get a cup of coffee. Do you think this is the right path? All right. So Angela, you can answer it and then I'll give my 2 cents.
I think any reach out is a good one, and everybody loves chocolate. So you're going to get a big yes from me on that. I know that one of my best friends moved from Greenwich down to Florida, and she sent a note out to everyone in her community or her immediate neighbors that said, we're new here. Can anybody recommend X, Y, and Z? And she literally had a massive hangover on Sunday because so many neighbors got together on Saturday night to welcome her to the neighborhood. So I think any of those reach outs are going to be fabulous. And I think people want to meet other people.
Yes. And the key to doing this is being authentic and not telling. They should not know you're a real estate agent, right? Like if you put it on like a nice note card and like it might say Compass or whatever on it, whatever it is, do not mention it. Make it about the human connection, right? Like be like, I would say, dear Angela, moving to a new area is not easy. I recently did so. I've here enjoy some chocolates. Welcome to the neighborhood. And when you're all settled in, I'd love to grab a cup of coffee. I was happy to meet a new neighbor, Carol, right? And put something like that simple together and then get to know the people. Right. Because in the end, they'll probably look you up online on LinkedIn or Instagram, on Facebook, and the little box that does say real estate. So
Neil had a question, and I'm always hesitant to answer this question about what I spend on gifts, and for no other reason other than Greenwich is a different market than someplace else. So I probably tend to overspend a little bit, but if you looked up what an uni stove costs or a solo stove, my average is probably somewhere in the $500 neighborhood someone just wrote 300 to 500. Mine is probably somewhere in that $500 neighborhood for the initial closing gift for clients. And it could vary. It could be planters. It could be the solo stove. It's really very specific. That's the one thing I will tell you, that the actual closing gifts, I tend to really personalize to what they need. Some people don't want anything. And I've even given donations for the clients that obviously don't need anything. I've done donations in their name to a local charity.
Okay, and in doing this, number one, this is dictated by an actual fiscal budget that you make throughout the course of the year, right? When Angela and I did this VIP strategy day, we planned out her entire budget for the year. So she knew what she was spending and where she was allocated over the months. So like as we're going through business planning and we go through annual budget planning, this is something that we're all going to want to spend time talking about. You need to know what you're spending money on and how much you have to spend so you can figure out the best way to utilize it. Right. So I would start, like, if you have kids, think about like the video games, there's like different tiers for the amount of tickets you have, right? If you have like 500 tickets, it's on this wall. If you have 1,000 tickets, it's on this wall. Start thinking about the clients and the value of these relationships, right? And if you could tell someone's going to be an influencer connector, yeah, give them a better gift. If not, everyone gets the base based on the value that it is. And then you kind of just build your way up. But don't look at what another person spends as a benchmark, because everyone's business is very unique. Right. And everyone's, I always say this when people talk about like commission lines, Angela, and objections. I'm like, is that really universal? Does that work for me because I'm me and the person I'm talking to knows all this stuff about me? So when it comes to gift giving, I would go through all these lists that we're going to send. Here's your action items. Go through the list, make a budget, figure out the ones you have. And remember, a $20 or $10 gift with a really personalized, thoughtful note is better than a $500 gift with nothing.
And I want to tag on to that one more time and say that I've been really, really leaning in hard. The gift of our time is probably one of the best gifts that we can give everybody. And coming out of COVID, I have been randomly calling clients and friends of mine saying, do you want to go for a walk? Let's take a walk at the beach. I'm an early riser. It's amazing what 45 minutes with somebody, and like Chirag said at the beginning, listening as opposed to talking. Sometimes that's the best gift, and it's free.
Yeah. And Julie reaffirmed it here, right? Be a good listener, show that you care, be thoughtful. Angela, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here today. And look, we'll be doing this again at 12:30 if you all want to hop back on again. And we'll have new information. We'll also have the list from the afternoon session. We'll put that all together and you'll
And
get it
come see
on
me. Reach out
Saturday.
to me in Atlanta. I'd love to see you guys in Atlanta. Let me know who's going to be in Atlanta. DM me.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye, Angela.
I